the analog stick that you could be very nice with the feather.
We are off. For a lovely prologue here, I'll go ahead and give a brief explanation of the controls. So,
Okay, so basic controls, you got jump, dash, climbing walls, jumping off of walls, anything that you've got with a basic platformer.
and it looks like all the runners made it through unscathed. So we'll be moving into the first chapter, which is City. You're gonna see a bunch of cool tech like hyper dashes and some wall bounces and some other cool things like that. If you're familiar with the game or you've been following on with the tournament, you guys know what those are. We'll kind of dabble into it briefly as we progress, but the Skyrage is moving forward.
TeDeMos actually backing out of his file there, having to go back into it. But that doesn't really waste time because time is in-game time, so that is pretty good.
Yes, and although the runners might appear to be ahead in some screens here, the most important thing is to check that in-game timer on all of the players, as that is going to determine who will be the winner of each race here. So we have mayantics zooming through, getting to the halfway through the first chapter here, with the Skyrage right behind him. I'd say about 2 screens behind.
Yeah. So the cool thing about Chapter 1 is that players are able to show off the best speed tech that they have. The stage is pretty simple and none that long, unlike the other chapters. So they really get to show how fast they can do stuff.
Mayantics taking a death in the spike jump room that we have. Ooh, nice double spike jump there. I like that move. It's making its way to the end here.
Crono's getting able to get up that wall, being able to skip having to go on the right side of that stage. 1 death for mayantics getting through Chapter 1, and TeDeMos as well getting to Chapter 1, entering Chapter 2 for both of those. Skyrage also finishing, and Crono's none that far behind.
Alright, so Mayantics is moving into Chapter 2, as is TeDeMos. There will be a glitch that'll be coming up here. We'll see if Mayantics and TeDeMos can go for it. Oh, Mayantics not going for it. And TeDeMos look like missing it. Very interesting. Alright, well, the skip is... It's possible to skip a cutscene to force Madeline inside that dream block, which saves a little bit of time. But both players not opted for it. We'll see if the other runners will be going for that as we continue to move through Chapter 2.
Yep, Skyrage just got it.
Let's see, Crono's going for it as Mayantics and TeDeMos are both moving into the battle and chase sequence here. Oh, Mayantics taking a death there. It's very easy to get caught and hit that little edge up there and land on those spikes, but he gets it there on his second attempt. Alright, so now Mayantics in the final battle and chase sequence here. She's got 5 of herself coming after Madeline. This room is also, you got to be very careful near the end because you have that tricky dream block section, but he handles it well. As TeDeMos is moving through too, he gets away nicely, doing a little improvisation there to make sure he doesn't take it down. And now all players are moving through the battle line section here. Skyrage on that last screen as Crono is moving through. And now Mayantics is moving into the awake section. There's nothing really here to force a death, but it's a real technical area as the runners are trying to navigate through these nooks and crannies, so to speak, to get through as smooth as possible. And Mayantics is doing fantastic work there. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Mayantics is really making use of the setups for screen transitions. It's often the hyper followed by a bunny hop followed by a dash jump and then repeat that across the screens. But it does vary, so you have to really know what's coming next in order to really take advantage of the speed that you're going to be able to do.
All right, both Mayantics and TeDeMos moving into chapter 3. My favorite chapter. I don't know about everybody else. I love this chapter so much.
This chapter is the bane of my existence. Is not very fun for me.
So it is definitely one of the more difficult chapters. It's definitely increased in difficulty based on the first two, as we have these dust bunnies that like to ruin everybody's day, and then a few other things. But it really kind of just gets the player like, okay, you got used to, you know, the basic mechanics here. We're gonna see what you're really made of. So
yeah, they're really gonna test you now that the basically the introduction of all the mechanics in the game have been given to you. The longer chapters are now gonna start. They're really gonna give it to you.
I think one of the reasons why it's my favorite is the fact that when somebody runs through it very cleanly, it just looks really impressive, and it really showcases like Madeline's movement in like that whole section of the game. Oh, Mayantics, she's taking a death there. Very unfortunate. But now all runners are in chapter 3. And also at chapter 3, it's the opportunity where like a lead change can happen at any point. There's definitely some very tough screens where even the most seasoned runners can run into problems. And if someone can cleanly get through it, it opts to potential lead changes. So we'll see if that happens here.
Yeah, the amount of movement that each player has to really get down for chapter 3 is a lot. As you can see on my antics screen, the big mess sequence, the optimal paths are not really super optimal. You can really go any direction that leads to Oshiro in the middle, as long as you optimize your movement a lot. You can take advantage of all that.
And we have TeDeMos and the Skyrage are both going through a huge mess here. As well as Mayantics. This section is divided into 3 parts, and you actually have the option of going any way you want, but we have a route designed so that when we exit, we're as close to Mr. Oshiro as possible to save as much time as that. So we'll be going through these crate section.
Skyrage. 2 deaths at the end of this room.
Oh, that room is very tough. We have the crates, the books, and then the towels, and Mayantics moving through the second section, as is TeDeMos here hitting the switch. We see Skyrage trying to go for the spike jump here, but kind of missing it.
Yeah, I think he's going a little bit to the left. He gets there, you go. Not super precise, but if you do go too far past it, you pretty easily miss it.
Oh, that was a nice save from Crono, trying to get that hyper to skip that dash crystal, but didn't get it, but was able to recover and avoid a death there.
And so my antics going for the third portion of the big mess. Gonna talk to Theo here. He's gonna leave us to do our thing.
And now TeDeMos moving through in the third section as well. My antics taking a few deaths.
Yeah, got past the dust bunnies, but died to trying to do that dash upward. All these deaths that Mayantics is taking, sorry, is it's pretty halfly costly because they're getting through the room, but dying at the end is pretty time efficient.
Yeah, and that is allowing Skyrage to do a little bit of catch up here, but again, as the in-game timers are showing, Mayantics is still ahead, getting to the elevator shaft at about 8 minutes. We'll see what Skyrage's time is going to be as he approaches.
I love seeing that room that Mayantics is in. The optimizations of that room are really cool.
Oh yeah. Now Skyrage getting into the elevator shaft at about 8:30, so still a little bit behind, but 30 seconds can that's nothing for Celeste. That could change in a heartbeat.
Easily made up for sure.
So Mayantics is now getting prepared for our key skip here. Oh, missed the platform there. Getting that run back. Oh, nicely done. Nice recovery. Now the Skyrage is also going into that part. And TeDeMos grabbing the key as well, as Crono is getting through the second section of Huge Mess.
Skyrage going for the key hopping right here. Oh, the Dust Bunny just bodies him.
Nice, taking the safe strat of just waiting on that last platform to make sure that Dust Bunny doesn't clip him off. He pulls it off very nicely as Mayantics and TeDeMos are moving into the Oshiro section. So this part is basically a boss fight, and Oshiro is trying to let you stay, make you stay at his place. He's going to try to beeline at you, which is signaled by a lightning bolt. And if you have the route done well, you can get away scot-free in a lot of these rooms, but any mistakes will... Oh, wow, nice.
In the bop.
Yeah, I like that. Any mistakes will cause you to start over, and particularly like with the last room, it definitely belongs in the section and the biggest opportunity to lose time. So we'll see how our runners will handle that.
Yeah, the last room is pretty interesting because Mayantics on it right now. The cycle is really weird for Oshiro. It's in the perfect spot to get you at any point, and it's very interesting. Near the end of the room, Oshiro will be triggered no matter how long he has been on the screen. So it looks like Mayantics getting through it.
TeDeMos on that last section too. See if he gets this here. Opting to wait for Oshiro. Ooh, almost cost him.
Hey, that was interesting from Skyrage there. He actually decided to hit retry entering that room. Maybe they're more comfortable with the retry cycle than just entering that room.
I respect that play. We did, for Chapter 3, cycles come into play basically for the only part of the game. So there are a little bit of differences, and some players will opt to retry and handle that versus going straight in. So... but taking care of nicely. We got Crono here getting to the last section, one room before he gets to the presidential suite. But all of our runners, the rest of our runners are now in Golden Ridge. With the lovely wind and these green orbs. And this is arguably my least favorite stage out of all of them. So
really, what's the reason for the least favorite? Is it because of the wind? Because that would make sense for me.
For me, I think what it really is that each room basically has a way to save time. There's always something that you can do to just kind of like chip away. And if you mess something up, you just, that time loss keeps stacking. And most notoriously, there's a few where like the skips are at the very end of the rooms. So if you mess it up, you lose like 7 to 8 to 10 seconds each time. And it just happens. It's just like, oh, I goofed up. So
everything does seem to cascade if you do miss something, which is really awful.
Also, the snowballs, I'm not a fan. But Mayantics here, moving along, getting to the first auto-scroller skip and nails it. Nicely done. Now, TeDeMos, a few screens to that point as well. Missing the wall bounce here. Now we have the Skyrage also heading into that.
Oh, Crono taking a death at the end of this dash room from Oshiro.
Oh no, that is unfortunate. Oh, and running into the Dust Bunny there too. Alright, so TeDeMos is going to go for the auto-scroller skip, and oh, just fell short. Looks like he didn't get a hyper off of that. Nails it the second time, and now Crono working their way through the last screen here. Particularly back on that, on that Chapter 3, it gets very stressful. Like if you start dying, it's easy to get frustrated, especially when you get near the end. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that right there on Crono's screen was what I said before about him just being instantly triggered, trying to prevent you from getting past it.
Makes it in the clear here. Now Mayantics heading into the final section of Chapter 4 with the high gust winds. Unfortunately, missing the platform there, but they are moving along very nicely through this chapter. With Skyrage not too far behind, I'd say 2 screens. And TeDeMos now moving through this portion here. I like this room a lot because there's so many different approaches that everybody has to counter that room. So it's cool to see all the different strats that people have.
Yeah, I think that's something I like about Celeste speedrunning is that there are quote-unquote optimal strats, but everybody has their own setup, everybody has their own thing that they do to make it easier to get through. Not everything is set in stone like other games.
Yeah, I mean, like, a difference between an optimal route versus another one could be, like, just a few frames or even, like, a half a second. But with the way that the game works, even hitting those optimal rooms, there's always that chance that you can just take a death. So, runners have their different approaches, and, again, any deaths just can cause things to quickly turn around. But we have mayantics finishing Chapter 4. Very nicely done as the Skyrage. Now moving through, hitting that snowball room, dodging those things. Very nice. Yeah,
man, they're just so lethal. Out for blood.
Yeah, I definitely have seen many races where the snowball's like, nah, you're gonna have to do this over. Alright, so now Mayantics moving into Mirror Temple. Definitely one of the top 3 songs on the soundtrack in my opinion.
Yeah, so I think Mirror Temple is my favorite chapter in the game.
I'm gonna return the favor and ask you why this is your favorite.
I think just the sheer movement that you can see in this chapter, the mechanics from the red bubble, just giving you endless directional movement, can make for some interesting stuff either in modded games or anything else. So just pure movement, I guess, is the answer for me.
So Mayantics, while moving through, opting to not go for one of the skips that is in this room, where you basically get a nice boost off of these dash platforms. Still moving very well through this, making great time as they approach this developer-intended skip here. So this is in place to get one of the unlockable items that are in the game. I won't go into it because, you know, no spoilers. But speedrunners use it to basically blaze through a good portion of the stage. And actually, this stage has the biggest time save with the search skip, which will be coming later in the run here. We'll definitely let you know when that comes about. But Mayantics moving through very nicely, getting to the Seeker portion. Oh, missed the switch there, though. Nice recovery.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about just the sheer movement. All those hypers coming out, it takes so much practice.
Alright, so now Crono moving through about the halfway point of Golden Ridge here as well, while the other runners are making their way through. The Skyrage is in the room that I probably hate the most in the game. This is so stressful because you have these blades and they're so late, and if you are just slightly behind on the cycle, it can result in a death if you don't pay attention to where they're moving, and it results in a huge loss of time.
So true, that room is really long.
And now TeDeMos is actually entering that room as well as Mayantics starts moving through the Seeker portion. See how she handles this, and so far so good. Now the Seekers, oh, again a death. I was gonna say the Seekers have the ability to trigger these lock switches as well, so runners will use it to their advantage. Unfortunately, taking a death there, but quickly recovering. Oh, nice! Ooh, nice ultra. Okay, I see you.
Such a nice ultra.
That was super crisp. I like it. So
and use the Seeker deck. Oh, the Seeker actually misses that switch on the top.
Yeah. Oh, still nice recovery there. Okay, I'm liking this movement. She's doing a route that I'm not familiar with, and I really like how it's going. Giving that Seeker a bonk on the head there, and getting.
Oh, that's so bad.
I am so sorry. I take full responsibility for that. I'm so sorry. I haven't commentated Chris like anybody on commentary, so I feel really bad. That's like my first one. But she makes it through very nicely as the Skyrage is moving through it as well. We got Crono going through the last section of Golden Ridge here. And TeDeMos starting off on his Seeker portion. Alright, so here's that search skip. Can't really explain it because Mayantics is already done with it. So we'll wait until we see another runner to give a quick explanation there. But that skip will save up to 3 minutes of time depending on the runner. But it's a huge one, and definitely if you're looking to start running Celeste, it's one of the first skips that you're going to want to learn.
So we do have the question of how that skip actually works in chat. Like we said, we're gonna as soon as we see somebody else go for it, we will explain it. But it's two pieces of movement together: a reverse dash followed by a upward dash.
Alright, so we are moving through the Theo section here. So Theo got himself into a little bit of trouble, and Madeline is here to save him. And we do that by carrying him. Unfortunately, we are limited on movement, but we can also throw him, which we do. Ooh, nice! Rip Seeker. But,
Alright, so just to go over the skip right here on TeDeMos' screen. So you're going to see him face the opposite direction of where he wants to go. Do a dash for an extended dash jump, regaining his dash, and then doing a diagonal dash up to the left to be able to get past the search portion of that.
And that was very nicely done. Now, mayantics in the final room of Chapter 5, and it's over, just like that.
I missed the door kill? Oh, man.
Yeah, that door kill was super nice.
Always feels good.
Skyrage is getting through here. Ooh, nice dodge there. Okay, using Theo as a shield to bounce the Seeker away from him.
So dangerous, but such a good idea.
Yeah, so with Theo, as I mentioned, movement is limited, but we can throw him. And then the cool thing about it is if you dash jump or hyper dash and pick him up while he's airborne, you keep your momentum, as we see in Skyrage kind of pulling off here. So it's utilized to just really kind of plow through these rooms. I think these rooms are supposed to be a little more stressful. I mean, they already are stressful, but just a little more. But with some of these tactics that the runners have, it makes it a little easier. Oh, nice skip there to get into the last room from Skyrage. As Mayantics is moving into the reflection portion. So there's going to be a lot of rooms. I think this chapter is difficult because a lot of the rooms look the same. And I know for myself, I sometimes forget what room I'm going into. So I will get my strats mixed up. Hopefully none of this will happen to any of the runners here.
Alright, so Skyrage done with Theo portion, moving into Chapter 6 now. Not all that too far behind. A couple costly deaths from mayantics, and Skyrage could very well be back in this.
Yeah, and if that were to happen, this and Summit are the two chapters where lead changes happen very often, and also crushing defeats happen as well. We got TeDeMos finishing up Temple as Crono is moving into the Seeker portion here. And I don't think anybody went for Lake Skip, so we'll see if TeDeMos will go for it. If not, then
we won't even worry about it.
Yeah, well, it's better to see it than to explain it, if that makes sense.
It's pretty complicated movement-wise to just not have a visual when explaining Lake Skip.
So Mayantics is zooming through. You notice that she's opting to take the bottom route for most of these paths. So this portion is pretty much kind of like a maze, and the runner is able to choose which section to go through. Most people favor a specific route. I think there's one section where you can have either the top or the bottom, and but she's getting near the end of this here.
That bumper portion at the end for mayantics is pretty important to get past because depending on how fast you are on that cycle, you could either need to go into the middle and then around, or around and then the middle on those bumpers. Hitting them it's pretty much an ensured death.
Although I have seen in a race somebody save that. It was very impressive.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah, I had to clip it. I was way too excited for it. But now Mayantics is just blaze through that pitfall section as we head into the battle line boost. See if she's going to go for it here. So basically, you're going to see Madeline skyrocket through. Oh yeah, it looks like she's going to make the attempt. So Madeline's going to skyrocket through here real quick, like so.
Crono going for his search skip here. It's the first try.
Alright, now Mayantics is on the Battle and Fight of Chapter 6. The basic goal, Madeline is going to want to reach out and just come in contact with Madeline. Madeline's going to do her best to not have that happen with the lasers and her red orbs and these crashing blocks. The route is pretty optimized in my opinion. There are a few places where you can kind of make some changes, but ideally you're going to want to try to get through this as fast as possible, which is also kind of difficult because there's some tricky jumps. Also just trying to remember to, you know, hypering into rooms or just making sure you have your dash with you.
Yeah, the decision on if you want to wave dash, if you want to hyper into a room, all of this stuff is needed to be known to optimize these rooms, because you want to know how much distance you need to get to the next jump, or where battling will be if you can take advantage of not even having to ground.
And also, again, remembering room order, I have definitely forgotten which room was coming next, and I went for a different strat, which resulted in a death, or 5, depending.
Yeah, so knowing the rooms for the battle and fight is pretty good to do.
Especially because they have the two-parter, like for example here, there's like 2 kind of like vertical drop rooms, and I have gotten those confused, but because each one has a very different strat. But Mayantics making great work. Moving into the second half of this fight, where I guess to put it in some fighting game terms, she's gonna pop X Factor, and she's gonna turn around here and have these blocks go all kind of crazy ways. But again, the same rules apply. We're just gonna try to keep getting in contact with her and try to make it through. There's gonna be the rooms are definitely longer, so the risks of deaths and losing time is very high. As now the Skyrage is moving into their battle and fight, as TeDeMos is also getting ready for it. We got Crono going through the Seeker section, or the Theo section of...
Oh, bodies double Seeker right there, and kills one.
That was tight.
That was hot.
Can we get a clip of that, chat? That was pretty dope. But he's making it through. Oh, taking a couple deaths there, though. And with that being said, Mayantics now in the final room of Reflection. This one is very stressful, too. Particularly that part right there, because that laser can just come out of nowhere and snipe you if you're not paying attention. Yeah, but she makes great work of it and is about getting to make her ascent to get into Chapter 7.
That beam is pretty ruthless. It towards the last feather there. If your movement isn't pretty exact, it can just hit you easily.
Alright, and Mayantics finishing up Reflection, not Summit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Finishing up Reflection at 24:58. Very nice. I'll have to double check and see what the PBs are across the board so that we can see if any PBs are going to happen. If you've been following the group play race, PBs have been thrown out left and right across the board. I think just about almost every race has had one, if not more. So I'm hoping to see a bunch of those this time.
For PBs from Mayantics, we're looking at a 33-34 gotten 7 days ago, so this could be a PB pace, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it has potential. This summit will have to be extremely clean. Yeah, like inspirational to make it work. But she's been doing very well, so it's very well possible. Oh, dang it! I'm so sorry.
Not being able to commentator's curse, huh?
I know. I'm sorry.
Moving along, Skyrage's PB is 40 minutes 50 seconds. See, TeDeMos is 40 minutes 11 seconds, and Crono is 1 hour flat.
Well, so Crono is actually on pace, on a really good pace to
really good pace, yeah.
All right, so a quick rundown on Summit. I like to call Summit the Mega Man run back portion of Celeste. Basically, all of the stages have come back with a vengeance, and on top of that, Madeline, as you notice, has 2 dashes. So all of the stages kind of cater to this new ability. They're definitely a lot more difficult and a lot more punishing, but you're going to just see basically a nice recap of each stage over and over and over again. As we see that Mayantics now moving into the
1,000 meter portion.
Yeah. I'm getting my metrics all messed up here. And Skyrage is finishing Chapter 6 as well. Getting ready to take on Princess Summit.
Skyrage is on a really good pace. If he's at 27 minutes right here, and his PB is a 40-minute, if his summit is really good, we could see a very decent PB coming out.
Oh yeah, but he is definitely in line to get a sub 40 if he can knock this one out of the park.
TeDeMos getting hit by that laser right there.
And Crono now moving through the maze section of Chapter 6. Oh, nice. Almost getting in those spikes there, but nails it. As Mayantics zooming through. Oh my gosh, she's almost done with the Chapter 2 portion of Summit. Take that back, she is done.
Move into the 1,500 meters, Chapter 3.
This is the make or break section, in my opinion. But also, when you see this section run cleanly, oh my gosh, it's like poetry in motion.
Mm-hmm. For sure, yeah. Since Chapter 3 mechanics are my least favorite mechanics, so getting into the 1,500 portion, being able to see top level runners ace these stages is very rewarding.
And Mayantics doing a fantastic job. I'm going to run the risk on commentary, Coach. Doing fantastic. Let's see what she does here in this room.
Skips the first switch. Takes the death.
Oh my gosh.
3 for 3 today.
I know.
How does it feel?
My day's just getting started too, so let's see if I can PB and just... Well, I guess I'm on PB pace for commentary curse, so we'll just try to set a record for myself.
Here we go.
But great recovery. Moving into the last screen here, as Skyrage is now moving through, also getting to the final screen of the city section of Summit.
Alright, 1,500 meters done for Mayantics, moving into Chapter 4, 2,000 meters. You know, this race between Skyrage and Mayantics is still pretty close. Very, very impressed with what's going on.
So now Mayantics going through the Golden Ridge portion. Oh!
Crono's going for
nice
skip right here, yeah.
I just need to lay off on commentating Mayantics screen. I really do. I'm just dishing them out way too often.
I will overtake the duties, and I will make sure the commentary curse stays alive.
I will gladly hand them over to you.
So
that being said, Skyrage in the final screen of the old site portion, and they nail it perfectly, moving into 1,500 as TeDeMos moves into the 1,000 section. And we got Crono going through the battle and fight here.
Seeing Mayantics just doing some of these rooms, just delaying the dash, all of that on Chapter 4 stuff is really impressive. At the last stream right here before the Chapter 5 2,500 meter section.
And now we have the Skyrage getting through the first long room of 1,500. Being very cautious. I appreciate the strategy because a death here will result in a lot of time loss. I'm putting him at risk by saying that. But he gets through it. Yes! Yes!
There he goes! Alright, Mayantics in the 2,500 meters section. This section is very cool to see movement-wise because combine all the movement stuff you see from Chapter 5, add in a second jump, and it makes for some very interesting stages.
There are also some pretty awesome skips. So we've seen the key skip there. Mm-hmm. We have another skip coming up too. We'll see if she will go for it or not.
Are you referring to our favorite skip? Oh, that one right there, yeah. Mayantics going for it. Door skip gets the first one. It goes for the second one and nails it. Second try. Saving, honestly, years of time. It's unheard of, really.
I heard if you clear door skip, you lose all the commentary curses. So
it's very true. So it looks like your PB commentary curse is at stake here.
Alright, so now Mayantics moving into the 3,000 portion. This is the home stretch of Celeste. So, chat, go ahead and get those flag numbers up and running.
So the summit, last portion, 30 flags until the end of the game. It is the longest, I believe it's arguably the longest portion of this game. Most stressful because of the added and reduced gravity that we'll be seeing. Take everything that you knew about this game and add heavier gravity, so making our dash jumps and stuff less effective.
Skyrage moving through the 2000 section here as we have Crono continuing through the battle and fight, getting ready for that second half portion. And we also have TeDeMos in the 2000 section as well. And then also, you're going to see a lot of times where Madeline is just airborne. I mean, there's not a lot of safe places for her to land. She's going to rely on springs and breakable bricks to navigate through this downdraft and then soon to be updraft section for Mayantics.
Updraft's coming up right now. I think the updraft portion of the summit is my favorite, even including the revisit of levels because of the floatiness.
I like the home stretch. I feel like the home stretch is where you see like the top runners just really barrel through like what's arguably supposed to be the most difficult part of the game because it's the last section, and they just handle it so effortlessly.
So the part after the updraft, I'm assuming?
Yeah, flag 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Or 5 to summit, I guess is the best way to put it. Speaking of going through things elegantly, TeDeMos knocking that room out. Oh my goodness. As he gets to the battle line lift portion of Chapter 4 recap, we have the Skyrage going through 2500 as well. And Crono just wrapping up the battle line fight. He's going to get ready to take his backpack off and ascend the summit here.
Crono's actually on very good pace for PB. The 1 hour mark is his PB, so very, very far ahead.
Yeah, we're not sure if he has like an offline, a non-recorded PB or not. But with that being said, this is about to be a phenomenal jump in time here. Potentially, he could get a sub 50 minutes. So I'm really hoping for that. Wishing the best of luck for him. Now that my curses have been handed out for the day. Knock on wood.
Skyrage getting ready to visit our favorite skip. See if he goes for it.
And Mayantics in that home stretch on flag 3. Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Nice move. Yeah, nice movement. All right, I see you.
Flag 2.
She's like, I need to get this over with now. And then Skyrage getting to the final portion of 2500 here. Just a few more dashes and he'll be in the clear.
Mayantics just barreling up this mountain. Gonna hit the flag. That is a done for them. 35 minutes and 5 seconds.
Almost a sub 10 summit, if my screen is reading that correctly.
Yeah, that's I believe that's a 10:06 or something.
This is a very good time.
Looking very good.
Now Skyrage entering his 3000 attempt here. And TeDeMos also getting ready to do that. We got Crono going through the city portion of Summit. Oh, taking a death there, unfortunately. Dashing headfirst into those spikes.
TeDeMos getting up to his 3,000 meter portion, 30 flag climb here. How he decides to tackle some of these flags.
And what was the Skyrage's PB again?
Skyrage looks like give me one moment. Skyrage is 40 minutes 50 seconds.
Okay, so this could be really close. If he can be very clean through this portion, he might have a shot to close this one out and get a PB. We'll see.
Gonna have to be very clean all the way through the summit. And you know it's on his mind too. I'm sure he's got his splits going, just like, I'm so close to PB.
Oh yeah, trying to avoid that extra pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And now TeDeMos entering the final section here of the downdraft. Got that nice ascent with all those dash crystals. As Crono moves through the second portion of Summit here at the old site. Skyrage getting through this narrow tunnel here of all these spikes and these dash crystals. Ooh, cutting it close, getting very close in the proximity there.
Jeez. Oh my, like the Madeline's head is just looking like it's going through these spikes.
That's actually a good thing to point out. She doesn't have a hurt box, unlike her head. So there's instances where you might see Madeline just like looking like she's just got her head literally in the ceiling. But nope, that is by design, so don't worry about that.
I wasn't actually sure about that because there has been instances where I personally have been face tanking stuff and been like, well, I should have died there.
It's very true. One of my favorites is in a Mirror Temple where like she just slides on a dash block and her head is just like gone.
Yep.
It's like, no, it's totally fine.
Alright, Skyrage on fourth flag here. PB definitely in reach. About a minute and a half to go for that. Gotta have
Be very cautious there.
Yeah, you gotta have these two flags have to be very clean and also very quick. About a minute 20, minute 10 actually.
Oh, he might get sub 40 here. Let's see. He's in the home stretch. Got this.
Seconds. Come on.
Oh, you're set.
You've got it.
All right, nice. With the sub 40.
GG Skyrage. Congrats on your sub 40 PB of 39 minutes 57 seconds.
And then now we have TeDeMos coming through the final section here too. So we get a sub 41 here. Looks like it, of barring anything happening. Is also done. Coming in at 40-34, nicely done.
GG to TeDeMos. Yeah, being pointed out in chat though, we definitely forgot TeDeMos was on keyboard. So 40 minutes on a keyboard? Pretty crazy. Crono making their way through the chapter 4 portion, decides to hyper into that room, getting bodied by the spikes. That's where some room knowledge comes into play, knowing what's coming next, and just prevent you from having to deal with the death cycle of rooms. Luckily, that's not a cycle-based room, so doesn't really matter when that happens.
And I believe Crono is still on fantastic pace to get a PB here as well. So
yeah, you're right. They're looking at a 1 hour PB. So being here at 2,000 meters at 42 minutes compared to their PB is very good.
ooh, nice bounce off that snowball. I thought that was going to be a death.
Ah, jumps right into the spikes. Harsh. The setup here, if you're either going for the skip or not, is pretty annoying. I guess Birdo Prey in chat, 1 hour PB for Crono as of speedrun.com. We don't know if he has an offline PB, but just by going by that, yes, 1 hour.
And then Shredberg also congratulating TeDeMos for the victory and locking in his bracket placement for the next section of the tournament. Nicely done.
Yeah, congrats for being able to move on to TeDeMos.
So Crono getting through this next section, this long auto scroller here. Really great work. Had a little hang up there, but adjusting perfectly fine as he moves into another win section here. Oh, nicely moved. Oh my gosh, that was super smooth.
I can't use that dash. I'm running out of energy. Oh, I hate to see it. That debate though, if you want to use that dash to save that, or would you? Oh, if you use that dash, you could still jump off the wall there and prevent yourself from falling in the spikes. But not having that dash for any sort of recovery is a hard decision.
Yeah, it's a definite risky situation to take, which, you know, especially at that point in that room, taking a death there is very punishing. But Crono is moving through, getting into the 2,500 portion here.
Decides to go at the diagonal. Use of any direction that you're pushing when the bubble decides to go off or when you trigger it will cause the direction that you go in. So easy mistakes like that can be made.
Into that screen. Get a nice boost off of this dash platform.
That room is always pretty tricky for me. My brain gets confused when the different directions of the block, so.
Oh, nice movement through that spiked room. Getting the bubble to grab the key here. He's getting prepared for the infamous door skip. How many do we have in this run?
Let's see. mayantics got it. Skyrage decided to skip it. I do not know if TeDeMos decided to go for it.
Oh, tough death there. And recover here.
I think they're trying to get an extended hyper here.
And they get it. Alright, let's see what he's going to go for.
I think not too. Pretty safe strat, honestly. If you're on PB pace, door skip, on all reality jokes aside, 3-second save. So it's more wise not to go for it. You are on the pace that Crono is on for their PB.
I definitely agree with the play there of opting out of it. Especially, again, as he's on this PB pace.
I'm halfway through that room. Harsh.
Just falling short and landing in the spikes there.
Crono, Mr. Broadstone is at coming up on 2,500 meters. 3,000 meter flag climb. Probably about 10 minutes out from being finished.
Nice save. Oh my goodness. That was super scary. I thought he was gonna lose his dashes there, but he makes it. They're going into 3,000. Again, let's get those numbers in chat as he makes this final ascent.
Yeah, we're all cheering for you, Crono. Get this PB.
Aggressively handling this vertical section here. I like the play. Nice, you know, but also being mindful to like slow down and making sure he has dashes and everything. So getting into the downdraft section.
Again, heavy gravity.
Getting their bearings set up again here. Still making great progress to get into a couple more spikes in these breakable. Oh no. Missed the wall there. But getting his bearings and getting back up on pace here as we move into these the springboard section. He handles that very nicely.
Oh, no energy, can't climb the wall.
I don't know if you saw the boards that were below him there.
Right. Advancing to the updraft portion. Oh, if you can get up this. Okay, we're there. Almost commentary cursed that.
Almost got him there. Almost got him, but no, we're good. We're good. Okay, so he's moving to this updraft section here. Again, this is like this one's really stressful because there's just a lot of horizontal rooms that you have to deal with. Interesting. He actually had both dashes going into that. I have not seen that. Usually in that room, you dash into the crystal and you have one. You only have one dash to deal with the rest of it. So for him to have two there, oh no! I might have to take that strat. I like that he did it. So I'm going to have to investigate this VOD later.
It's only for research.
14. Running out of stamina, but makes it. Now he's going to 13. The last instance of our lock switches here. He gets away scot-free as he moves through.
Ouch.
Taking a depth there.
Is this number 2? Is this flag 2 or flag 3?
Oh, he's on.
Oh, it's 12. Yeah, I'm not even. What am I? Whoa. Flag 11.
We got this narrow set of spikes here with some dash crystals to help Madeline navigate through. Nails it as he goes into flag 10. Very short flag.
Some runners actually opt to not hit flag 10 as it kind of does save some time. But getting it, if you're not safe, don't feel really safe getting it, good play.
Same with flag 8 here. Some runners will opt to avoid that and just go for it. Again, the risk involved in that is losing more time and having to start 9 over. But opting to take that flag and moving forward.
Good movement here. There you go.
All right, so he's in the home stretch. I'm missing the cloud there, but there is one down there to get him back up. Nice wall bounce to kick into flag 5. And again, great pace here. Definitely should be seeing a PB. He's going to advance into flag 3. Flag 3 has been a deal breaker for a lot of runners this tournament, so we'll see how he deals with this. 1-2 gets away. Got one more section before flag 2. He gets it nicely done.
Doesn't get the wall jump there.
Oh, he's opting to try to extend hyper to get to this, and he gets it the second try.
Composure here. 8-minute PB on the line. flag 1. The relaxation mode does not start until you hit the end.
I'm loving this aggressive ascend there, being very risky with those vertical dashes in the halfway point. And he is done. Crono coming in at 52.19. Nicely done. Great job for all runners.
On that almost 8-minute PB. Congrats. All of our runners. Very good job here. But it does look like all of our runners have finished, and keep speed gaming on schedule. We are going to wrap up this episode of the Celeste Any Tournament. Be sure to follow all of our runners and congratulate all of them on a PB. Yeah.
I saw that little bounce that Crono did as he headed into the prologue section. Looks like he's very happy with his performance on his run. And as Mike1780 said, you know, give everybody a follow. They're putting a lot of great entertaining content here. I would also say give Mike 1780 a follow too. It was fantastic commentating with you.
Yeah, you as well. Be sure to follow FC Racers. Also part of this tournament, so look forward to him also doing some races on the Speed Gaming channels. And with that, we are going to wrap this up. I believe we have another Celeste tournament race coming up on this channel right after this one, so if you were interested, stay tuned, and there will be more Celeste coming up. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a nice evening.
Oh, I just saw that we have, oh no, Crono left. Sorry, Crono, we didn't see you jump in. I apologize.